Another Islamist leader shot in Bangladesh. Mohammad Moteb Sikdar, a leader of the National Citizens Party, shot at in Khulna. Sensational revelations leaves Yunus administration red-faced. BNP leader drops a bombshell, claims Jamaat links to Hadi's killers released in the past. In a symbolic move, Dhaka University renames Bangladesh's Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Hall to Usman Hadi Hall, a decision critics say elevates the anti-India sentiment. After the lynching of Deepu Chandra Das, calls for justice intensify. Hindu groups protest as India urges Bangladesh to punish his killers. The Madurai Deepam controversy escalates after a flag is hoisted at the Dargah. Hindu groups protest, ask why no permission to light the Deepam. BJP slams anti-Sanatan mindset. Delhi High Court issues notice to Sonia and Rahul Gandhi on the plea filed by Enforcement Directorate challenging trial court's order. Matter to be taken up for hearing in March. Yogi Adityanath takes a namune jibe at Rahul and Akhilesh, says whenever any important decision happens in the country, both tend to flee. Tells SP leaders in assembly that their babua will soon leave for England. Akhilesh heads back. Shocking video surfaces from Shimla's biggest government hospital, where a doctor is seen thrashing a patient inside a ward. Health Minister orders probe, assures action. Bangladesh is witnessing a volatile churn. New Delhi has rejected what it calls misleading propaganda over a protest outside the Bangladesh High Commission, clarifying that it was a brief gathering against the lynching of a Hindu man, Deepu Chandra Das, in Bangladesh, justice for whom still eludes. Dhaka, however, terms this protest unjustifiable, insisting that the incident was isolated. In a symbolic move, Dhaka University has now renamed Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Hall to Usman Hadi Hall, a decision critics say elevates an anti-India sentiment in Bangladesh. Meanwhile, the Yunus administration stands completely exposed because within Bangladesh, chorus is now growing against him. BNP leader has now exposed the Jamaat and claimed that the killer of Usman Hadi is linked to the Jamaat. Also going on to say that several times in the past, these killers who were behind Usman Hadi's killing were behind bars but were given bail because of the Jamaat's insistence. In a CNN News18 exclusive, intel sources are also revealing that there seems to be a pact that is working behind the scenes. Pakistan and Bangladesh, known to be partners in crime, so to say, are working on a mutual defense agreement that are raising fears of a brewing Dhaka-Islamabad axis.
যে হাদিকে খুন করার উদ্দেশ্যে গুলি করেছে তার ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড দেখেন, তাকে জামিন করাইছে কে তার দুইবার এই করছে ব্যারিস্টার কায়সার কামাল সহযোগী ছিল। আমি অস্বীকার করব না, ব্যারিস্টার কায়সার কামাল আমি এটা শিশির মনির দুইবার তাকে আপনার জামিন করিয়েছে এবং শিশির মনির এই কাজগুলো করেছে। আমি কিন্তু দায়িত্ব নিয়ে কথাটা বলছি।
আমি দায়িত্ব নিয়ে বলছি, আপনি অসত্য বলছেন।
কায়সার কামাল সহযোগী ছিল, সহযোগী উকিল। আমি একজন উকিল হিসেবে বলি, আপনি আপনার সময় বলবেন প্লিজ, আপনি বলবেন আপনার নিয়ম কি। নিয়ম হচ্ছে উকিল, আপনি যদি উকিল থাকেন, আপনি একা পারলেন না, আপনার মনে হলো আরো 5টা নিতে পারেন। আপনি আপনার আসামি পক্ষ বা বাদী পক্ষ যদি চায় যে হ্যাঁ আরো 10টা উকিল নেব, সমস্যা নাই, টাকা কোনো ম্যাটার না, আপনি নিতে পারেন। তো সেইখানে কায়সার কামাল বা তার আরেকজন সহযোগী, সেটাও বিএনপি। এবং এইখানে কিছু কিছু উকিলের ক্ষেত্রে আমি বলি, হায়ারে যে উকিলগুলা যায়, হায়ারে সে উকিলগুলো আওয়ামী লীগের সময় আওয়ামী লীগের উকিলরাও বিএনপির হায়ারে নিছে। কেন নিছে? যাতে জামিনটা হয়। ঠিক এখনো বিএনপির একটা উকিল নিছে, কিন্তু মেন যে উকিল, মেন যে দুইবার বের করছে, তাকে কে বের করছে, কারা বের করছে? 17 লক্ষ টাকা নিয়ে ধরা খাইলো 1 মাসের মধ্যে। কিভাবে আমরা আসামিদের ধরা পড়তে দেখি, চাউর করে লিখা হয়, বের হইতে কিন্তু আমরা দেখি না। তো বের হওয়ার সময় 1 মাসের মধ্যে এই ছেলে এই 1.5 বছরের মধ্যে 2বার অ্যারেস্ট হয়েছে, 2বার বের হয়েছে। 2বারই উকিল ছিল জামাতের উকিল। এবং আপনি দেখেন যে সে যখন ছাত্রলীগ তো গুপ্ত জামাতটাই করতো, তারা তো এখন স্বীকৃত। তা এই ছেলেটা যে ছাত্রলীগ করতো, আপনার যে কথাগুলো আছে, সেও তো জামাত মনাই ছিল। আমি যদি হিসাবগুলো এইভাবে সাজাই, তাহলে কি হবে? হওয়ার মধ্যে হবে আমি হয়তো নিরাপদে বাড়ি যাইতে পারবো না, আমারও মেরে ফেলবে যে এই এত কথা বলে কেন। সত্যি, এটাই সত্যি। তারপরেও আমি মনে করি আমি অনেকদিন বাঁচছি, আল্লাহ রহমতে, আলহামদুলিল্লাহ। যদি আমার মৃত্যু যদি কারো হাতে থাকে, থাকবে। আমি যা সত্য মনে করি আমি তাই বলবো। এই যে নোংরা খেলাটা খেলা হচ্ছে, এই নোংরা খেলার জন্য তো শেখ হাসিনাকে বিদায় করা হয় নাই। একটা সুন্দর বাংলাদেশের জন্য শেখ হাসিনাকে বিদায় করা হয়েছিল, যে কিনা 15.5টা বছর জগদ্দল পাথরের মতো বসেছিল এবং যাকে খুশি তাকে খুন করছে, গুম করছে, সবকিছু করছে। অথচ দেখেন তারা কত খাতির, তারা ছাত্রলীগ একসঙ্গে করছে। তারা ছাত্র শিবির একসঙ্গে করছে, তারা আগে একসঙ্গে একটা দল নিষিদ্ধ করছে, যা ওইখানে ঠাঁই নিছে, এখনো আবার তারা একটা দল নিষিদ্ধ করছে, তাদের ওইখানে ঠাঁই নিচ্ছে, তারাই বাড়িতে বাজার পাঠায়, তারাই রাতে ঘুমাইতে দেয়, তারাই এই বর্ডার পাস করে দেয়।
Now, there is an anti-India rhetoric that's being whipped up in Bangladesh, and many say there's political patronage. There's definitely a sense of tolerance from the Yunus administration, if not tacit support for this kind of sentiment. And now it looks like there is a third front that's being instigated by Dhaka. There is one aspect of it which Pakistan and Bangladesh seem to now be working together on a mutual defense agreement. It's no surprise that Pakistan and Bangladesh now want to come together to try and corner India, and there is a pact that is being looked at in terms of defense between the two countries. This proposal is being discussed at the top diplomatic and military levels of both countries, is what we're given to understand. Joint mechanism will be formed under this agreement if it was to come to fruition to draft a defense agreement, much like on the sidelines of what we saw between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. There are multiple rounds of engagements that have already taken place, especially on terms of military talks between Pakistan and Bangladesh over such an agreement which could be signed. There are several military MOUs that have already been signed, and key meetings will continue to be held over what future this sort of a deal holds. There are 6 drafts that are likely, is what we're given to understand. All of this perhaps will happen after elections are held in Bangladesh. If this certain sentiment continues, depending on what the outcome of that election is, who comes to power and whether they want to continue this sort of coalition with Pakistan against India. What we're also learning is that Pakistan is in talks with at least 8 other countries on similar such pacts. This is what we understand from our sources in intelligence here, that are keeping a close watch of what this sort of axis would mean for India and how New Delhi should be looking at countering this. Even as we talk about this particular axis, there is more information that's now trickling in, and this is the kind of implosion that we're seeing inside Bangladesh. The Inqilab Munch has now threatened to launch a movement to oust the interim government. They claim that their spokesperson, the Islamist leader Usman Hadi, and his killers need to be brought to book, and if justice is not ensured, then they will hit the streets in protest against the Yunus administration. There are several people that have been arrested in this particular case, but that's not enough, say these protesters. Remember, Usman Hadi is an Islamist leader, a radical one at that, but also one who was instrumental in taking down the Sheikh Hasina government last year. Sami Mehdi, a journalist who joins us from Bangladesh, our colleague there on ground. What's the latest, Sami, if you could tell us? There is a call for a protest that has also now been given there. The Yunus government faces fire both from inside Bangladesh and from outside.
The fact is, I was present in the press conference, and after the press conference at 3 o'clock in local time, the entire procession came to the Shahid Minar. And then their demands were kind of different than previous day. They told that they don't care about the stability or anything else, because they waited just because the government or the other entities told them to stay calm and they will do something about the killing. But now they're telling like they don't have any kinds of faith on the Home Affairs advisor and as well as the law advisor. So the fact is, right now they are focusing on the proper justice of Hadi murder, and they tell like the government have to take all necessary initiatives. And if the government fails, that is their point. If the government fails, they will do their strike and do everything. Because they think like if the government fails to bring the justice for Hadi, then they actually fail for everything. They are not even capable for running any kinds of election or maintain the law and order in the country. So their demand is like within 24 hours the government needs to bring something very significant. Otherwise they will take more steps, and they actually called and urged the mass people of our country to join with them. And tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the Shahbag area, they will stand again, and they will take some kinds of Shahidi Shapath, which is kind of an oath that the people will hit the roads and do their strikes until any kinds of proper solution or justice for Hadi killing. So right now they actually wanted to it's not like threat, it's like their demand, and the demand tone is very severe than they did, because I have seen their demand tone in last couple of days, but today the demand tone is very strong, and they are telling like, if we don't have justice, then we don't care anything, this sort of thing.
So they are trying to mount pressure there, but this also comes, Sami, at a time when we are seeing another such politician who was shot at, who's also fighting for his life, is what we're given to understand. So that only mounts the pressure further on the Yunus administration.
If you're talking about the incident of NCP leader who got shot in
Yes.
Khulna, now he is out of danger. The police said to a reputed mainstream media, and the fact is, first of all, his shooting incident was stated by a spokesperson of NCP. First of all, but then there were some rumors that what is the condition of his. Some said he is dead. Some said he's in a very critical condition, but after 3 or 4 hours, the local police ensured that he is out of danger, and it might not be connected with any kinds of political situation. Rather than it was it could be an internal dispute between their people.
Right, Sami, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. Siddhant, my colleague, also joins us here from the national capital, tracking how India is looking at this entire crisis that seems to be imploding there in Bangladesh and what the spillover effect will have like. And Siddhant, every single day, unfortunately, Indian missions seem to be on target in Bangladesh, and there's very little that the Yunus administration seems to be doing to put an end to it.
Well, that's right. In fact, there has been a very little action when it comes to the attack on Indian missions in Bangladesh. In fact, there was stone pelting anti-India slogans which were raised outside Indian missions in Dhaka, in Chattogram, in Rajshahi, and in fact, there is a video evidence that how the stone pelting happened and the anti-India slogans were raised. But instead of taking action against these radical groups, their members, what Yunus government did yesterday was that they alleged India, and perhaps they said that their mission in New Delhi is not safe, and there was a protest, and the protesters gave open threat to the High Commissioner. Now, talking about the Indian missions of Bangladesh, there was a very minor protest which took place day before yesterday night. There were only 20-25 people, and immediately the security dispersed them, and they were not allowed to even protest. And in fact, there's a video evidence of that. There was no security situation created. But now what they're doing is that instead of acting against the radical groups in Bangladesh, they are once again blaming India, and they are now raising question about the safety of their diplomats in India. So, the scenario is such, Poonam, that anything happens in Bangladesh is immediately linked to India or the Awami League. In fact, the same thing happened when Usman Hadi died. For last 1 week, there was arson, violence in Bangladesh, media houses attacked, demanding justice and, blaming India. But now today, we have two testimonies. The officer is saying that we have no evidence to prove that he has escaped to India, and BNP leader has alleged that it was Jamaat leader who got the killer out on bail. So clearly, Jamaat link has been established with the killing of Usman Hadi. So, the question needs to be asked to the Yunus government, that instead of putting blame for everything happening, every wrong thing happening in Bangladesh on India, he should first get it investigated, and
because it looks like India is being
justice.
Scapegoated for what seems to be state-sanctioned hate or tolerance, if nothing else. For the moment, Siddhant, though, thank you so much for getting us the latest. Shifting focus now to a story that's erupting here back home in Tamil Nadu, where tensions have erupted in Madurai, especially after what we saw at the Sacred Hill, after the DMK government permitted a flag hoisting at the Sikandar Badusha Dargah. This while continuing its ban on lighting the Kartikeya Deepam atop the Deepatun. The move has sparked outrage among locals who staged protests overnight, leading to police action. The BJP has also now lashed out at the DMK, specifically at Chief Minister MK Stalin, accusing the party of appeasing minorities at the cost of Hindu traditions. BJP has also alleged that Hindus are being treated as second-class citizens in the state of Tamil Nadu, while Muslims and Christians are being given preference. With Christmas celebrations being courted by both the ruling party and the TVK, who so far, remember, has been silent on this Deepam controversy, the BJP says that the DMK is reducing Hindus to children of a lesser god. The temple town, meanwhile, continues to remain restive because this controversy is only deepening.
Do you think it's the DMK that's trying to play appeasement politics as far as Tirupurukundam issue is concerned?
The role of the elected government to ensure that there is peace that prevails in the section of the society. But what DMK wants is DMK wants a bloodbath in Tirupurukundam so that it can appease a section of the people for vote bank politics, keeping Udaynidhi in mind. They have not done their job. 2005, our leader Amma called in for a peace committee meeting and ensured that peace prevails in Tirupurukundam, wherein this government has not taken any such efforts so far. They are only interested to play the religion card in Tirupurukundam issue, and it is the total colossal failure of MK Stalin and his incompetence which is leading to this stalemate. The case is pending before the Supreme Court. It is decided on merits, and whatever judiciary says and whatever is the decision, that is final and binding upon everybody.
This is the anti-Hindu, anti-Sanatan face of DMK. On the one hand, the DMK prevents Hindus from lighting the sacred Kartigai Deepam at the Deepathum, the sacred pillar. But on the other hand, it gives permission to the Dargah there to conduct its own ceremonies and to even raise the flag. Why this double standards? Do Hindus have no rights in their own country and their own state? And Congress is with this. Uddhav Sena is with this. TMC is with this. But in reality, all of them are anti-Hindu.
Purnima now joins us, getting us more details on this. Purnima, the town of Madurai remains restive because this is only going to escalate now. The kind of anger that we're seeing amongst Hindu devotees for this preferential treatment that the other community gets, that's going to simmer there for a while, isn't it?
Absolutely, because on the 6th of Jan is when the festival is all set to take place at the Dargah. It's a Sandalwood festival that will take place on the 6th of Jan. So from the 5th of Jan, we can see protests escalating just like the way it did late last night when they were all set to hoist the flag. They were planning to carry the flag atop the hill and hoisted there at the Dargah. Even then we saw protests by the Hindu outfits. So 6th of Jan is the festival and we can expect further protests around the 5th or the 6th of January. But politics over this is only going to continue. Blame game is going to continue. BJP and ADMK say it's appeasement politics and that the DMK is anti-Hindu. DMK says it's the BJP that's politicizing the issue, and the people of Tamil Nadu will not vote for the BJP, even though they are setting this as one of their narratives. This is something that the DMK continues to reiterate. But residents of Tirupurukundam are hoping for peace to prevail.
Right, do keep a track of what transpires there, Purnima. For the moment, though, thank you so much for getting us the latest. Shifting focus from down south to up north, where Delhi becomes a gas chamber every single winter, and this time the story is not different. A brutal cold wave is being seen here in the national capital and in the national capital region. Temperatures have dipped to about 9 degrees, most of which is because of the kind of snowfall that a lot of northern and upper regions have received. There's a dense blanket of smog, though, that pushes the city's air quality into very poor category. The choking fog has crippled travel. Over 100 flights have been cancelled. 370 flights have been affected, delayed due to low visibility at airports. The air quality index hovered close to severe mark, with hotspots like Anand Vihar and Narela recording AQI above 400. Delhi Minister, though, Manjinder Singh Sirsa, says that he is hopeful that the conditions will improve from tomorrow. This despite the Indian Meteorological Department coming out and saying that it's only going to get worse from here on, at least until the next 1 week. The Delhi Health Minister, the Delhi Environment Minister, in fact, has warned that private offices and factories are flouting anti-pollution rules and they will face strict action. Enforcement drives are underway to seal these polluting hubs, he says, which is why he's hopeful and optimistic that the air quality will get better. But for now, Delhiites continue to battle an air emergency.
बाद कुछ मौसम के बेहतर होने की आशंका है, जो जानकारी मौसम विभाग से आ रही है। कल के बाद कुछ बेहतरी की उम्मीद है, उससे AQI और ठीक होगा। दिल्ली के अंदर निरंतर रात को सड़कों की सफाई धुलाई का काम चल रहा है। दिल्ली में जो हमारा डंप्स हैं उनमें से औसतन रोज 35,000 मैट्रिक टन कूड़ा आज हम बायोमाइनिंग करके हटा रहे हैं, जिस कूड़े को हटने से दिल्ली का पोल्यूशन कम हो रहा है। और दिल्ली के अंदर पिछली जो ड्राइव चलाई गई थी माननीय मुख्यमंत्री रेखा गुप्ता जी की तरफ से कि दिल्ली को मलबा मुक्त भी किया जाए। मिट्टी एक बहुत बड़ा कारण है, डस्ट जो कारण है। हमारा टारगेट है कि इस साल के अंदर हम अपनी जो पुरानी वाटर बॉडी सालों सालों से बंद हो चुकी हैं, लुप्त हो चुकी हैं, गायब हो चुकी हैं, उनको रिवाइव करें।
The national capital has woken up to a thick, smoggy morning. Hazy visuals, and right now, as the icy, cold, chilly winters are witnessed throughout the national capital, as you can see to my left, there is visible fog at most places. This is Anand Vihar of the national capital, where severe levels of the AQI have already been recorded in the previous days. As the visibility drops to severe low levels right now at the national capital, at this part of Anand Vihar. Most places record dense fog. The AQI in the national capital at an average as per this morning of 7 a.m. continues to be clocked at 366, while at most parts of the national capital the AQI has continued to be in a severe or very poor category. The worst has been recorded at the Narela as per 7 a.m. this morning by the data of the CPCB and the Sameer app. What we also see that the pollution level continue to rise as the grab for restrictions in the norms continue to be in place in the national capital, where the construction and the demolition activities are prohibited. The entry of high loaded trucks are also prohibited in the national capital, while here the pollution levels can be also felt very alarming. As the pollution level continue to choke the national capital, winters are already in fact harmful.
Simran, my colleague, now joins us, getting us more on this. Simran, what part of the national capital are you currently? Has it gotten any better? Because if you listen to the Delhi Environment Minister, he's hopeful that things are going to get better from tomorrow, but that hardly seems the case, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. The reality, while we continue to look at the impact of what the Delhi government aspires to do across the national capital, is seemingly different, Poonam. While this morning it was clearly stated that the AQI is likely to get better, and the levels that we continue to record every day from the previous 2 weeks severely getting worse, they are likely to get better, and Delhiites will have some relief. But the problem where in fact the implementation and the coordinated approach by many such departments under the Delhi government in tackling the problem of pollution is actually coming forward. While the Delhi Environment Minister has said that the western disturbances not bringing rain is also an issue, while why exactly the AQI is in fact soaring. But at the same time, it remains to be seen, Poonam, how exactly the AQI is likely to projected into a good number, as Delhi Environment Minister in a very assured manner has said that from the previous government of the Aam Aadmi Party, Delhi has seen huge relief, as by 50 points minimum, Delhi has recorded a drop in the AQI if we compare it on an annual basis. But even though while we stand here in the central part of the national capital, in around Natians Delhi as well, it remains to be a very suffering incident for any Delhiite to breathe this air. And while we speak also, there is visible irritation which we encounter. Apart from that, there are many implementations the Delhi government has vowed to implement in a very stricter manner.
But the issue really is that there are gaps in those implementation. There are a lot of measures that seem to have been put in place are only cosmetic and only on paper and not really being implemented as we see them. That may be with regards to construction or with regards to entry or non-entry of certain vehicles. And those holes need to be plugged as well by the Delhi government if the situation needs to improve. We'll keep a track of that. But for the moment, Simran, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that. It is time for a quick break on this edition of Nation at 5. But news and updates continue here on CNN News 18. Don't go anywhere.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Developments on this front closely, shifting our focus now. Actor Samantha Prabhu had an unpleasant experience recently when she was mobbed by fans at an event in Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad, highlighting growing concerns over celebrity safety. After attending a showroom inauguration, the actor faced chaos. She was being pushed as fans surrounded her car in a rush to take selfies with the actor. The incident has sparked outrage online, especially as actress Nidhi Agarwal had earlier faced a similar situation at a mall event earlier, with netizens urging organizers to act more responsibly and to ensure better security for celebrities at such events. All right, for more on this, we have PV Ramanna live with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, if you could just tell us what we're seeing here, the visuals that we get here, absolutely terrifying. If you could just tell us what transpired.
Yeah, Samantha Prabhu faced very unpleasant experience yesterday when she was attending a mall opening function here in Hyderabad. Recently, we witnessed Nidhi Agarwal also faced the same kind of problem. After completion of the event, Samantha came out and she is trying to get into her car. Suddenly, some of the fans, we can say them as a fans, whatever it is, but the people came over there and they tried to take selfies, and they tried to take selfies, and they tried to push Samantha in back. So it was very unpleasant incident was happened yesterday. Yesterday it was even the organizer has to take the proper they have to take proper security measures for these kind of the festival, these kind of the incident. But these kind of things, even Nidhi Agarwal also faced the same kind of incident in the recently Lulu Mall in Hyderabad. When she was getting into her car, some people tried to touch. In fact, netizens also experiencing their anger in the social media, and they are saying that people should have proper civic sense, and even the organizers also take the proper security measures for these kind of events. I have to say how the organizers will react and how the police will react in this kind of incident, because police has to take the proper measures for these kind of incidents or issues also, because they have to the mall of whatever the event the organizers in Hyderabad, they should inform the police, and police should take the proper security measures for the celebrities who is attending these kind of functions.
All right. Well, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on that. There another very shocking incident. The visuals are on your screens right now. There are people in a rush to take selfies with the actor, completely being pushed by all those present there. Now, let's just go back to PV Ramanna for more on this. Of course, as you were mentioning, there is a need for more security measures to be put in place when such large-scale events are being organized. We've seen what happened just a few days ago with Nidhi Agarwal as well, when she was mobbed by a bunch of fans there at another event at a mall there. For more on this, we have Abha Singh with us. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. Another such incident, a lot of people, netizens saying that these are predators, not fans, the way the actors here are being treated. What's your take on this?
I would blame the PR companies for this. They just send out invites and they put it on social media, and that is the result that so many people get to know and we all reach. They don't inform the police, so then there is no crowd control or mob control exercise, that there are not sufficient policemen around, and that is why this is not the first. This is the second incident which has happened where media personality has been mobbed, touched inappropriately. It is very disgusting. So I think the event management companies should be held accountable, that they will send out minimum invites, or if they are putting it on public domain, then police needs to know, and also a crowd control mechanism should be in place.
Absolutely, as you mentioned also, and this is exactly what we were reporting on, that clearly there aren't enough security measures in place to ensure that the event goes on smoothly just days after what we saw happen with Nidhi Agarwal. Also, of course, this is absolutely unacceptable. That being said, if you were to send out a message to the PR agencies, to the event organizers, really what should they be doing in this sort of a situation?
Nanoman, I think in these two incidents, first an FIR to be registered for a Vigilant Act for endangering the life of these young stars, because only then these PR companies and event organizers will become accountable. We have seen in UP also, if you remember, so many people died because there was a Baba doing some preachings and local villagers turned up and there was a stampede. So these things are happening, and just for money and trying to so that you are getting more people, these people have gone berserk. So I think the PR companies need to be responsible. The stars should also put their foot down that we are agreeing, but we will not. We are agreeing on one condition, that there will be not public around much, and our security has to be utmost priority. So these things should be put down even by the stars, because just to become viral, you cannot endanger your life, or even the fans. They can be crushed. If you remember in Tamil Nadu for the actor Vijay, 41 people died in a stampede. So it is both ways, for the stars and for the fans. You're risking their lives.
Right, absolutely. Though I also want to talk to you about the role of the people who are gathered here. We're seeing all this in a rush to perhaps get a selfie with the actor. The number of men who are there pushing her around, Nidhi Agarwal as well. What do you have to say about that?
You know, it is the common man which makes these stars, and in India we have these things. We treat the Bollywood, the film stars or the cricketers like God. So this craze to have a selfie. If you see in India, the highest number of selfie deaths take place in India in the world. People on top of a cliff, near a river, try to take a selfie and they risk their lives. So here when people are ready to risk their lives, they would give anything to have a selfie with the film star. So this also needs to be checked. There should be bouncers, and they should ensure that nobody comes for a selfie. Make it a rule, no selfie. I mean, that also should be done, because a lot of stars, senior stars have expressed unhappiness because they've been mobbed, they've been inappropriately touched. So I think the selfie culture needs to be stopped.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast with your perspective on this.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
For 20 years, we've been at it through power shifts and wars, financial upheavals, and inspiring triumphs.
India lifts the World Cup.
We were the constant in a whirlpool of change. For 20 years, we worked with one guiding philosophy: to chase the truth, to make sense. Celebrating 20 years of CNN News 18 makes sense.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nation at 5. The BJP has secured maximum number of seats in the Maharashtra Municipal Council and Nagar Panchayat elections. The results were out yesterday. This is in alliance with, of course, their two partners who are in power in Maharashtra, Shiv Sena and the NCP. The opposition, the Mahavikas Aghadi, has been left trailing behind. The result has underscored the opposition's struggle in these civic elections and only give a booster to the NDA, or the Mahayuti as it's called, in Maharashtra ahead of the Mumbai civic polls next month. The polls result have now also exposed an internal rift within the Mahavikas Aghadi. The Uddhav Sena has now slammed the Congress which wants to be the big brother in every alliance, saying that the grand old party has become merely a tourist, that there are no takers for the Congress party, especially in Maharashtra, or that in Mumbai nobody takes them seriously. But listen into some reactions from political parties of both sides and how exactly are they viewing these particular results in the run-up to what's to come in Maharashtra from here on.
देखिए, मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने फिर एक बार भारतीय जनता पार्टी पर और हमारी महायुति पर पूरे तरीके से विश्वास दिखाया है। फिर एक बार बीजेपी ये सबसे बड़ी पार्टी बनकर उभरी है। 129 शहरों के प्रेसिडेंट, नगराध्यक्ष ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी के बने हैं और एक प्रकार से लोगों ने महाराष्ट्र की सरकार के कामों पर और जो विकास का एजेंडा हमने लोगों के सामने रखा, उस पर मोहर लगाई है।
चुनाव के नतीजे सामने आए हैं। इसमें शिवसेना का स्ट्राइक रेट जो है काफी तगड़ा रहा है। और जैसे लोकसभा में स्ट्राइक रेट था, विधानसभा में स्ट्राइक रेट था, वैसे ही ये स्थानीय जो चुनाव है नगर परिषद नगर पंचायत में शिवसेना ने बरकरार रखा है। लोगों ने शिवसेना का साथ दिया है और लाडली बहनों ने भी साथ दिया है, सब मतदाताओं ने साथ दिया है। शिवसेना कई लोग कहते थे कि शिवसेना सिर्फ ठाणे और मुंबई तक सीमित है, लेकिन अब चांदा से बांदा तक शिवसेना सभी घर घर में पहुंच गई है और शिवसेना को भारी जीत हासिल हुई है इस चुनाव में। इसके लिए मैं हमारी लाडली बहनों को और हमारे सभी मतदाताओं को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ।
So what exactly do these results look like as far as the municipal corporations go? The BJP has emerged as the single largest party with 127 seats. The Shiv Sena is ahead in 53 and the NCP bagged 32. Together, the ruling Mahayuti alliance has won more than 200 seats across the state in the elections that were held. In contrast, look at what the performance of the Mahavikas Aghadi is. That shows a comparatively weak, if not abysmal performance. They could only bag just 53 municipal councils and Nagar Panchayats, with the Congress ahead in 36, the Shiv Sena UBT in 9 and Sharad Pawar-led NCP in just 8. And yet, it is the Congress party that seems to be bearing the brunt from its alliance partners as far as the Maharashtra civic elections mandate goes. So what does this mean for the Congress and for the Mahavikas Aghadi ahead of the BMC elections in Mumbai next month? Well, the Congress party's performance in Maharashtra Assembly elections shows a clear downward trend over the last 3 polls. The Congress clearly cannot seem to have a foothold in the state of Maharashtra. In 2024, Congress contested 101 seats but managed to win only 16. That meant a strike rate of only 15%, its weakest showing in recent years. Going back to 2019, the party contested 147 seats, out of which it won only 44. The strike rate there was a little higher at about 30%. Nothing to write home about, highlighting a comparatively stronger presence at that time, but that only dwindled. In 2014, the Congress fought 284 seats and secured 42 victories alone. That again brought their strike rate to about 15%, and that really is why many within the Mahavikas Aghadi, its own alliance partners, the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP or the Uddhav faction of the Shiv Sena, all of them feel that the Congress is now a liability going into civic body polls in Mumbai, which is why they're all fighting solo.
अभी जी ये जो बयानबाजी हो रही है कि आप लोगों को कहा जा रहा है कि टूरिस्ट पार्टी है, पोस्टर बने लगाते हैं और हार के चले जाते हैं, आप ही के अलायंस की पार्टी कह रही है ये बातें?
देखिए, ऐसा है कि कांग्रेस इस देश की सबसे पुरानी पार्टी है और आज हमारा लोकसभा में 101 का स्ट्रेंथ है, तो इस तरह की बयानबाजी करना जो है मुझे नहीं लगता कोई उचित है। और एक अघाड़ी के जो पार्ट हैं, जो इंडिया अलायंस के पार्ट हैं, वो ऐसे लोग इस तरह का स्टेटमेंट दे रहे हैं, दुखद है। और जहां तक अभी चुनाव नजदीक आ गया है, अब चुनाव के मैदान में कांग्रेस अकेले उतरने का फैसला ले लिया है, तो वहीं पे 2-2 हाथ हो जाएगा, पानी का पानी दूध का दूध हो जाएगा।
लेकिन वो जो महाराष्ट्र निकाय चुनाव में जो हार का ठिकरा है वो आप लोग के ऊपर फोड़ा जा रहा है।
नहीं, अगर आप रिजल्ट देखेंगे तो उसके लिए आप देखिए, नंबर्स देखिए, कांग्रेस जो है महाविकास आघाड़ी में सबसे मजबूत पार्टी उभर के आई है और हमको लगता है कि हमारे पार्टी का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का स्ट्रेंथ इतना है कि हम लोग जो है जनता के बीच में जाएंगे तो हमको उसका अच्छा जो है रिजल्ट आएगा। और कांग्रेस के संगठन की मांग है, कांग्रेस के हर कार्यकर्ता की मांग है कि हम लोग अलग से चुनाव लड़े और उस संगठन का जो उनका मैसेज था उसका एक्सेप्ट करके पार्टी हाईकमान ने, हमारे शीर्ष नेतृत्व ने फैसला लिया कि हम लोग अकेले चुनाव लड़ेंगे। तो अभी ये सब बयानबाजी करने का कोई मतलब नहीं है, चुनाव बहुत नजदीक है और हर पार्टी को अपना काम करना चाहिए और जो चुनाव में जनता तय करेगी किसके साथ कौन है।
सबसे बड़ी वजह हारने की क्या है? क्या कांग्रेस है?
देखिए, कांग्रेस 2019 में पूरी तरह महाराष्ट्र में परास्त हो गई थी। 2019 में हमारी नाव में हमने इनको बिठाया और इनको किनारे लाए, इनको अपने मंत्रिमंडल में शामिल किया, उद्धव ठाकरे जी के नेतृत्व में इनको पोषण दिया हमने। अब जब ये थोड़ी सी ताकतवर बन गए हैं तो हम ही को आंख दिखा रहे हैं। अरे भाई, कांग्रेस पार्टी का मुंबई में है क्या? कांग्रेस पार्टी मुंबई में एक पर्यटक है, टूरिस्ट है। आइए, होर्डिंग लगाइए, बैनर लगाइए, अपना प्रचार करिए, हारिए और आत्मचिंतन करिए। कांग्रेस जिसको छूती है उसको खत्म करना चाहती है। बहुत सारे दिनों से हम देख रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस कह रही है हम अकेले लड़ेंगे, अकेले। अरे आपका मुंबई में है क्या? लड़ लो अकेले। 30 साल से लड़ ही रहे हो ना, कभी 25 सीट पाते हो, कभी 30 सीट पाते हो, तो लड़ लो। लेकिन इससे भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ताकत मिलती है, कांग्रेसियों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। तो कांग्रेस के जो बड़े नेता हैं, दिल्ली में मल्लिका जी हैं, राहुल जी अच्छे नेता हैं, लेकिन यहाँ के जो नेता हैं वो अलग ही दुनिया में मस्त हैं। वो अपनी नाव ले जाके किस मझधार में डुबोएंगे उन्हें पता भी नहीं चलेगा।
Moving on now. Days after the barbaric killing of a Hindu man, Deepu Chandra Das in Bangladesh, who was lynched to death, the MEA has condemned this barbaric killing, urged that the perpetrators be brought to justice immediately. The Ministry of External Affairs here in the national capital has expressed concern over attacks on minorities like Deepu Chandra Das across Bangladesh ever since we saw that the rise of Islamists and radicals is on the rise. It has urged authorities to bring those responsible for Deepu Chandra Das's killing to justice. But a new video is now emerging which shows Deepu in police custody before he was lynched. Hindu religious organizations, minority groups in Bangladesh have all staged a protest against the mob lynching, demanding stricter action from the Yunus administration.
কুটুক্তি বলার পরে তারা বলে তারা মারা হয়েছে, মারা হওয়ার পর তাকে মনে করেন ফেক্টরির ভিতরে তারা মেরে আলছে, মারা আলার পর তারা মনে করেন বাংলাদেশের যে আইন আছে, বাংলাদেশ আইনের মাধ্যমে দিত, তারা পুলিশের মাধ্যমে তুলে দিত। পরে বাংলাদেশের আইনটা, বাংলাদেশের আইন অনুসারে যা এটা বিচার দিত, বিচার করতো, কিন্তু এই বিচার না করে ওরা বিচারে করলো, তারা মেরে লাইলো। তো এটা তো বাংলাদেশের আইন না, বাংলাদেশের আইন তো এটা বলে না, বাংলাদেশের আইন আছে। বারবার না বলছে আমি কিছু বলি না, আমি কিছু আমরা দিকে দেখতেছি, তারপরে ওর এই কামটা করা হলো। আমাদের সাথে কোনো কথাই বলতে দেয় নাই। ফোন দিয়েছিল, ফোন দেওয়ার পর এক সেকেন্ড কথা বলে নাই, কথা বলার পর ফোনটা কেটে নিয়েছে, ফোনটা তারা কেটে নিয়েছে। কেটে নেওয়ার পরে তারা মাইক দিয়ে বসছে, মাইক দিয়ে মরা লোকের ওরা আপাতত পুষছে। আমরা কমপ্লেন করছি, কমপ্লেন করার পর তারা বলে 7 জন আসামি দিচ্ছে, জিজ্ঞাসাবাদ করতেছে। তার আশেপাশে আমাদের আশেপাশে মন চাওয়া লাগে মুসলমান মাস্কে আমরা সনাতন ধর্মের লোক আছি, 50-60টা ঘর সনাতন আর মাস্কে সব হিন্দু মুসলমান আছে চারোদিকে, কিন্তু ওরা তো ভালোই বলে কি না, ওই ছেলে তারা ওরকম কিছু বলেন নাই।
VHP Zara Kumar Bansal now joins us. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. Sir, the VHP is planning to hit the streets in protest because we've seen the kind of atrocities that are being meted out. Deepu Chandra Das is one such name that has come to the fore in the last few weeks, but we've seen what has happened to minorities under the Yunus administration in Bangladesh.
That's right.
So what is the VHP's plan, sir?
The VHP has viewed the incidents in Bangladesh with alarmity and anguish. It has been alleged that Deepu Chandra Das was guilty of blasphemy. And the statement ascribed to him is that he said that all religions lead to the same path. They are all equal and they are all respectable. This statement was considered as blasphemous by a section of the Muslim community. He was dragged, he was lynched, he was burnt alive. Now, this statement is a challenge to the secular values of the world. The very basis of secularism is that all religions are equal and they all command respect as far as the state is concerned. Second, went to the janaza of Hadi and said that Hadi lives in our hearts. We will fulfill his dream and the generations of Bangladeshis will fight for it. The Hadi, sometime before he was shot, had called about Vrahad Bangladesh, the greater Bangladesh, which includes the boundaries of the northeast of Bengal and parts of Bihar. If this is what Muhammad Yunus was referring to, if this is what he said that the generations would fight, then it is a direct challenge to the India's sovereignty and the territorial integrity. The VHP will hold dharnas and demonstrations in all districts of the country in the next 2 days. The VHP units around the globe would organize Hindus and the people and the office bearers of the civil society to impress their governments to persuade Bangladesh to a saner path.
the elections there being near, such tactics are being employed. And after Deepu, 2 more families have been burnt alive by torching their houses in the night. The VHP considers this a challenge. We will face the challenge. We will arouse the world community. We will hold demonstrations in all districts of the country. And we believe that the government of India takes it in all seriousness. We do not have the intelligence inputs. So we do not have a specific advice to the government. But whatever the government does to meet out the situation, the Indian people would stand behind the government in this.
But Mr. Alok Kumar, do you think that this is only going to spiral for the worse in Bangladesh? Because there seems to be an anti-India, anti-minorities kind of rhetoric that is getting some sort of sanction from the Yunus administration, at least tacit support, if nothing else.
Not tacit, direct quote. When he says that we would fulfill Adi's dreams, he himself is saying something that challenges the territorial integrity. And then you kill Deepu, saying that he made a blasphemous statement, and then come to the TV and say that no statement has been found. If no statement has been found, why was he killed? I believe that this government of Bangladesh, including Yunus, are directly complicit in what is happening there. We are considering to request that the Nobel Committee may reconsider to withdraw the Nobel Prize for Peace given to him.
And speaking of that global community, I also do want to ask you this, because you're the international president of the VHP, that why is it that you think that the United States, the United Nations, all of these Western countries, they've spoken about and condoled the death of Usman Hadi, but nothing about these kind of acts against minorities? Would you urge them to take a stronger stance as well?
Yeah, we will speak to them. And I believe that these countries have a vested interest in keeping the Pakistan and Bangladesh against Bharat. The balance of equations. They do not want India to emerge stronger, to emerge as a world power. And therefore, at such moments, they have been taking an anti-India stand and or not appropriately criticizing the communal acts in those countries.
We do hope that they are listening to you, and we'll keep an eye out on how soon it is that justice is meted out to the family of Deepu Chandra Das and an end is put to such kind of heinous acts in Bangladesh against minorities. But Alok Kumar, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18 and sharing your perspective. With that, it's time for a quick break on this edition of Nation at 5. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Many things have changed in the last 20 years, but our partnership with you only got stronger.
Political parties.
RTI enabled India's right to know.
System needs to become more transparent.
We saw terrorism's deadliest phase.
This is a terror attack on Mumbai.
Visuals that will haunt Mumbai.
A crisis that plunged the nation in panic.
We are faced with a global slowdown.
We saw India becoming cricket champs after 28 years. The nation chose a strong new leader.
Narendra Damodar Das Modi.
Indian Army. India attacking terror on enemy soil.
Special forces crept behind enemy lines.
An invisible threat brought the nation to a standstill.
Not a single soul out here.
A space flight that filled every Indian with pride.
It's a very special lift
Well, only the G.
India taking its place among global leaders.
One Earth, one family, one future.
Time ticked on. The headlines kept changing, but we stood with you with the same energy, the same resolve. Celebrating 20 years of CNN News 18 makes sense.
Developments on this front closely, shifting our focus now. Actor Samantha Prabhu had an unpleasant experience recently when she was mobbed by fans at an event in Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad, highlighting growing concerns over celebrity safety. After attending a showroom inauguration, the actor faced chaos. She was being pushed as fans surrounded her car in a rush to take selfies with the actor. The incident has sparked outrage online, especially as actress Nidhi Agarwal had earlier faced a similar situation at a mall event earlier, with netizens urging organizers to act more responsibly and to ensure better security for celebrities at such events. All right, for more on this, we have PV Ramanna live with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, if you could just tell us what we're seeing here, on the visuals that we get here, absolutely terrifying. If you could just tell us what transpired.
Yeah, Samantha Ruth Prabhu faced very unpleasant experience yesterday when she was attending a mall opening function here in Hyderabad. Recently, we witnessed Nidhi Agarwal also faced the same kind of problem. After completion of the event, Samantha came out and she is trying to get into her car. Suddenly, some of the fans, we can say them as a fans, whatever it is, but the people came over there and they tried to take selfies, and they tried to take selfies, and they tried to push Samantha in back. So it was very unpleasant incident was happened yesterday. Yesterday it was even the organizer has to take the proper they have to take proper security measures for these kind of the festival, these kind of the incident. But these kind of things, even Nidhi Agarwal also faced the same kind of incident in the recently Lulu Mall in Hyderabad. When she was getting into her car, some people tried to touch. In fact, netizens also experiencing their anger in the social media, and they are saying that people should have proper civic sense, and even the organizers also take the proper security measures for these kind of events. I have to say how the organizers will react and how the police will react in this kind of incident, because police has to take the proper measures for these kind of incidents or issues also, because they have to the mall or whatever the event the organizers in Hyderabad, they should inform the police, and police should take the proper security measures for the celebrities who is attending these kind of functions.
All right. Well, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on that. There, another very shocking incident. The visuals are on your screens right now. There are people in a rush to take selfies with the actor, completely being pushed by all those present there. Now, let's just go back to PV Ramanna for more on this. Of course, as you were mentioning, there is a need for more security measures to be put in place when such large-scale events are being organized. We've seen what happened just a few days ago with Nidhi Agarwal as well, when she was mobbed by a bunch of fans there at another event at a mall there. For more on this, we have Abha Singh with us. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. Another such incident, a lot of people, netizens saying that these are predators, not fans, the way the actors here are being treated. What's your take on this?
I would blame the PR companies for this. They just send out invites and they put it on social media, and that is the result that so many people get to know and we all reach. They don't inform the police, so then there is no crowd control or mob control exercise, that there are not sufficient policemen around, and that is why this is not the first. This is the second incident which has happened where a media personality has been mobbed, touched inappropriately. It is very disgusting. So I think the event management companies should be held accountable, that they will send out minimum invites, or if they are putting it on public domain, then police needs to know, and also a crowd control mechanism should be in place.
Absolutely, as you mentioned also, and this is exactly what we were reporting on, that clearly there aren't enough security measures in place to ensure that the event goes on smoothly just days after what we saw happen with Nidhi Agarwal. Also, of course, this is absolutely unacceptable. That being said, if you were to send out a message to the PR agencies, to the event organizers, really what should they be doing in this sort of a situation?
Nanoman, I think in these two incidents, first an FIR to be registered for a vigilant act for engaging the life of these young stars, because only then these PR companies and event organizers will become accountable. We have seen in UP also, if you remember, so many people died because there was a Baba doing some preachings and local villagers turned up and there was a stampede. So these things are happening, and just for money and trying to show that you are getting more people, these people have gone berserk. So I think the PR companies need to be responsible. The stars should also put their foot down that we are agreeing, but we will not, we are agreeing on one condition, that there will be not public around much, and our security has to be utmost priority. So these things should be put down even by the stars, because just to become viral, you cannot endanger your life, or even the fans, they can be crushed. If you remember in Tamil Nadu, for the actor Vijay, 41 people died in a stampede. So it is both ways, for the stars and for the fans. You're risking their lives.
Right, absolutely. Though I also want to talk to you about the role of the people who are gathered here. We're seeing all this in a rush to perhaps get a selfie with the actor. The number of men who are there pushing her around, Nidhi Agarwal as well. What do you have to say about that?
You know, it is the common man which makes these stars, and in India we have these things. We treat the Bollywood, the film stars or the cricketers like God. So this craze to have a selfie. If you see in India, the highest number of selfie deaths take place in India in the world. People on top of a cliff, near a river, try to take a selfie and they risk their lives. So here, when people are ready to risk their lives, they would give anything to have a selfie with the film star. So this also needs to be checked. There should be bouncers, and they should ensure that nobody comes for a selfie. Make it a rule, no selfie. I mean, that also should be done, because a lot of stars, senior stars have expressed unhappiness because they've been mobbed, they've been inappropriately touched. So I think the selfie culture needs to be stopped.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast with your perspective on this.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Developments on this front closely, shifting our focus now. Actor Samantha Prabhu had an unpleasant experience recently when she was mobbed by fans at an event in Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad, highlighting growing concerns over celebrity safety. After attending a showroom inauguration, the actor faced chaos. She was being pushed as fans surrounded her car in a rush to take selfies with the actor. The incident has sparked outrage online, especially as actress Nidhi Agarwal had earlier faced a...
Thank you so much for staying with us. In a candid chat, filmmaker Karan Johar expressed pride and optimism after Homebound made it to the top 15 shortlist in the Best International Feature category at the Oscars, calling the achievement a major milestone for Indian cinema. Listen in to that exclusive conversation.
Organized its 11th edition of its flagship role model series, and they have announced you as a newest member of their advisory board.
Yes, so I'm very honored that Rishabh asked me to be part of the advisory board at IMAN. I want to congratulate Rishabh and the entire team at IMAN for celebrating 15 years, and I'm honored, privileged and humbled to be part of the board now, and I accept it with a lot of joy and excitement.
And sir, your movie Homebound has been shortlisted for 98 Academy Awards in the Best International Feature in the film category.
Very excited, very nervous now. We've reached, like I said, ये बहुत important पड़ाव था, and हम यहाँ तक पहुँच गए. We're in the top 15 best international films of the world. It's such an honor. I'm so grateful to the selection process that allowed us to be India's official entry at the Academy Awards, and everything in our capacity we've been doing, and now we are part of the top 15, which I believe is an achievement in itself. And now we just hope, and we want the nation's prayers, that Homebound does us proud and lands a final nomination. We will do everything in our capacity.
Sir, your reaction on Worsens movie?
I love the film, and I am very elated with its success, its massive box office success and its appreciation and acclaim. And I look forward to what Aditya Dhar does next. I want to congratulate the entire cast and crew of that film. Ranveer Singh, extraordinary, Akshay, Arjun Rampal, Sanjay Dutt, like everybody associated. And Aditya Dhar is the man of the moment, and more power to him.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The recent disclosures of political funding have once again put the spotlight on how parties in power continue to get a lion's share of donations via electoral trusts, a mechanism that became the most dominant way to make political donations following the scrapping of electoral bonds by the Supreme Court. The recent data shows that the BJP has emerged as the single largest recipient of donations routed through these trusts, more than 80% of all donations. But should that come as a surprise? BJP is not only in power for a third successive term at the centre, it is also constantly winning repeat mandates in many states and expanding its footprint in others. Let's face it, even its harshest critics today believe it is a hungry election machine that never rests and will be tough to beat, especially for the other national alternative, the Congress, for many years to come. Now, the BJP argues its larger share only reflects public confidence and corporate trust because of its electoral successes. But the Congress is refusing to see this political writing on the wall. Irked by a slump